you get every single thing that you put into work to get. You have all these people that talk about getting all these things, right? They're going to get $1 million. They're going to get $1 billion this year. They're going to get all these things, everything that they ever wanted. But here's the thing. You only get those things if you put the work in to get those things, right? And you can't start to put the work in now. You have to have put the work in from before. So if you want something in 2019 and 2020 and 2021, you need to put the work in right now to be able to get those things. And that's how it works. It's kind of like the farmer and the seed principle. You can't just go out into the field and never have planted any seeds and expect to get this huge harvest, right? Farmers don't do that. They don't go out into the empty field and they know they haven't put any work in and say, you know what? I want a tomato. I want a whole bunch of tomatoes or oranges or whatever else grows out the ground, right? What they do is they go ahead and plant those seeds, and then they water those seeds over however many months it takes for that plant or whatever it is that they want to rise up. And then when it's time, after they've put in all the work, they've planted the seed, they've watered it, they've done everything that they're supposed to do, then they get their harvest. And that's how this works as well too. So you know what? If you haven't put the work in before, it's not a problem. Just start now. And in 2019 or 2020 will be your greatest year yet. But you got to put the work in. If you don't put the work in, this year will be just like last year.
Our last presenter, my man, Coach Mark. He is a very genius guy. Guys dealing with mental coach training. He goes all over the country talking to colleges, athletes, so on and so forth. Give a round of applause for my man, Coach Mark.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Okay, that's a little bit better, but I want to get a little bit more energy from you. So my name is Coach Mark. I do a lot of different things. I own a lot of businesses, I own a lot of houses here in Atlanta, and I'm a peak performance trainer. So I work with athletes all over the country, and I get them to improve their mental game, all right? So I'm gonna do one of the little techniques that I do with the athletes that I train. So I want everyone to stand up, because I wanna get your energy up, all right? I wanna get your energy up. If your energy is up, you're gonna be a little bit more attentive, you're gonna listen to me a little bit more, and you're gonna be able to take a little bit more away from what it is that I have to say, all right? Normally, one of the ways that I do this is I would have music playing and we would dance a little bit, but since we don't have any music and we have a small period of time, I just want everybody to jump up 3 times. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys can go ahead and sit down.
Hi, I'm Coach Mark. I'm a peak performance coach, an author, a speaker, entrepreneur, and just an overall lover of life. So a lot of people categorize me as a life coach, and that's not what I do. I'm more of a believability coach or a peak performance coach. And what I mean by believability coach is that I help people to increase the level of belief that they have in themselves, because I truly believe that you cannot go anywhere if you don't believe that you can. And as far as a peak performance coach, how I really got into that was that I was helping a lot of people out, and I wanted to go in, and one of the things that I do is I study the techniques of all successful people. And one of the most successful group of people are athletes. So I went in and I started studying athletes. What is it that they do? Why are they able to dedicate a certain amount of time to becoming really successful to their craft and whatnot? And as I started studying them, I started to realize that a lot of athletes had mental training coaches, and there was this branch of psychology called sports psychology that a lot of athletes would use sports psychologists to help them get to the next level. So as I started studying that more and more and more, I realized that, you know what, I could take a lot of these same techniques and not only use them with athletes, but I can use them with regular people as well and help them to take their lives to the next level. So that's how I got into the whole branch of mental training, peak performance coaching, sports psychology, or whatever it is that you want to call it. Anyone that is able to wake up every day and primarily do the things that they want to do, to me, that's a success. You know, you don't necessarily have to be a millionaire or a billionaire. Just anyone that's able to, if you're able to wake up and enjoy the day and look forward to waking up because you're able to do whatever it is that you want, to me, that is success. You got a lot of successful people that, you know, they may not make a lot of money, and there's a lot of people that make a lot of money, but to me, they're not a success because they have to wake up every day and go to a job or do something that they don't want to do. And to me, that's not success. Success is waking up every day and be excited to wake up and do whatever it is that you want to do. Everyone can stand to learn more and take their lives to the next level. You know, one of the things that I do that I pride myself on every day is that I read for 3, 4, 5 hours, you know. So we all need coaching, you know. We all have different levels of coaching that we need and whatnot, but we all need coaching. We all can stand to learn. I truly believe that if you're still here on this planet, there's something more for you to do, and there's always something more for you to learn, and you got to stay in a mode where you're continuously learning. So yeah, I work with other coaches, I help other coaches help me. You know, if there's something that I need help with, I have no problem hiring another coach or hiring someone that's a specialist in that particular field to learn from them. I stay learning. I spend thousands and thousands of dollars a year on books, on coaching from other clients. You know, when I'm not helping another team or athlete or client, I'm probably traveling somewhere learning from another coach or learning from another educator or learning from someone that I can possibly learn from, you know. Specifically in my field, I definitely feel I bring a lot to the table, and I do help a lot of coaches because a lot of people in my particular field, they're used to doing things a certain way, and I kind of come into this field with a certain level of ignorance, maybe some may call it, because I'm not doing things the way that it's traditionally been done. But what I've realized is that that's where all innovation comes from, you know. People that continue doing the things the same way, the way that guys were doing it 5, 10, 20 years ago, they'll never ever bring innovation. You know, they're just going to do it the same way that everyone else has done it. And what I'm bringing to the table is that I'm coming in with, I wasn't traditionally trained in this field. I didn't go to school and learn about sports psychology. You know, I learned on my own. You know, when I decided I wanted to get into this field, essentially what I did was I bought every possible book I could on the subject. So I bought, you know, over the course of maybe a year, I bought probably over 100 books on sports psychology, mental training. And I don't learn just from that particular field. I'll pull from any field. So if it means studying yogis from 2,000 years ago and learning some of the techniques that they use, I study that. I study neuroscientists, any field, energy psychology, anything, anywhere where I can help people to bring about a change in their lives. I study all those techniques. I study hypnotists. I study people that, regular psychologists, psychiatrists, any area where I'm able to bring about change. Those are the fields that I generally study to help bring about change to my athletes and to my clients that I work with. The techniques that I use with the athletes that I train is we do this technique called reframing. And that's where we go in and take a particular situation that we would have deemed to be negative and find out, okay, what's the positive in this situation? You know, like last night I had to speak, and I didn't realize that I was going to be speaking to kids that were 5, 6, 7 years. I thought I was speaking to adults. So when I prepared my speech, for adults. And when I got to the venue, about maybe 30 minutes before it was time for me to speak, I was told that, or I saw that it was little kids that I was going to speak to, kids anywhere from the age of 5 to about 16 or 17 or something like that. And the old me would have been like, oh my God, I can't do this. I didn't prepare for this or whatnot, you know. There's no way that I can do this. I would have just told the guy, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this is what it was for. I didn't prepare to speak to this age range or whatever. But the new me was like, you know what? I took that on as a challenge. And I said to myself, you know what? This is going to be good because now I got 20 minutes to prepare. Can I prepare for a speech in 20 minutes? You know, and I used it as a good thing. So instead of looking at it as bad, I always look at the good in every particular situation, you know. So I was able to go in and I think I did an all right job for the period of time that I had and whatnot. And you know, speaking to that group and not realizing that I was going to speak to that group, you know. So I look at all these different things as these obstacles are things that are used to strengthen you. You know, one of the things that I do is when I practice my speaking, before I do I usually write it. When I do my weekly calls, I'll write it completely out, and I just speak off of my notes, off of what it is that I write about. And so after, it usually takes me a whole day to write it out, to do all the research and figure out what it is that I'm going to talk about. And then I'll go through, you know, the last hour before I do my actual call, which is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually around 8 o'clock. Hopefully I'm finished doing whatever it is that all my preparation, and I'll go through and do a dry run and practice my speech. And when I do it, I play loud music in the background, you know. And one of the reasons why I do that is because if I'm able to give my speech off flawlessly with loud music in the background, then nothing that anyone can do can throw me off, you know. Because I've had times where I'm on my live call, and because it's open to callers, people will call in, and I've had a couple rude people that, you know, for whatever reason, I don't get caught up in their reasoning. They may make some comments in the middle of my speech, and what I realized that before, it threw me off, you know. It would completely throw me off, and then now I'm disrupted because someone chimed in the middle of my speech, and it completely threw me off, and I didn't know what to say, and it took me a while to settle back. But by having these distractions, you know, practicing with these distractions, it helps me to focus, so that even something happens that throws you off, you're able to rebound right back, you know. So I would look at some of those things that you're going through, that anyone is going through with their job and whatnot, as, you know what, these are just things that are preparing you for the future. You know, if you got to work days that you don't want to work, you know, if you're going to eventually become an entrepreneur, that's what life as an entrepreneur is. You know, until you get to a certain level, you're going to have to work those days. I remember I literally, you know, for the first 10 or 12 years of my graphic design and printing company, I literally took no days off. I was just talking with one of my friends, well, actually the guy that runs my company for me now, and I was like, you know, a lot of people go into entrepreneurship and treat it as when they had their 9 to 5, you know, and they think that they're going to go to their office or whatever, their place of work, and at 9 o'clock and then leave at 5. And if you're an entrepreneur, nah, it's a 12 to 12, you know what I'm saying? Like 24 hours a day. So, you know, even if you have a job that is demanding, just look at that as preparation, you know, preparing you for life as an entrepreneur. Because I'm going to tell you, if you want to become a successful entrepreneur, you're going to have to be willing to give it your all. That means, you know, no vacations, you know, in the beginning. That means, you know, a maximum amount of sacrifice. A lot of people are afraid to sacrifice. And if you want anything good in life, you have to sacrifice. So I think what sets me apart from other coaches is the fact that I wasn't trained in this field from the traditional sources that most other coaches were trained in. You know, most people in this field, what they did was they went to school for 4 years, got a degree in psychology, maybe got their master's or their PhD in sports psychology, and that's not the route that I went. I decided that, you know what, I want to learn from the best. I don't want to learn theory, what you learn in school. I want to learn from people that have actually been able to go in and implement these strategies and make them work for themselves. So I went in and studied all those people, and then once I learned enough techniques, I went in and applied what it was that I learned, you know. And I think that a lot of people that are in this particular field right now, they're older people, so they've been using the same techniques and strategies for years, you know. And I'm young, I'm bringing new life into this profession, because there's not a lot of people that look like me that are working with these athletes, you know, in the way that I'm working with them. So that's what it is that I feel that I bring to the table. And a lot of times too, a lot of the sports psychologists and mental trainers are older guys that are like 60, 70 years old, and they're unable to relate to the athletes. You know, a younger guy that might be in his late teens or early 20s, they're unable to relate to them because I'm closer in age and I deal with so many younger people. I'm able to understand what it is that they're going through, why it is that they're doing what it is that they're doing. Because it's one thing to be able to tell someone to say, you know what, you need to stop doing this. But for you to be able to tell them that they need to stop doing it, you have to understand why it is that they're doing it. And then you can give them a technique to help them to stop doing whatever it is that they don't need to be doing. I can't even stress the importance of people living in their purpose, or or just doing whatever it is that they feel called to do at that point in time. I think that a lot of times, a lot of emphasis is put on like finding your purpose, and that ends up driving people more crazy than anything else, And I think that life is just about doing whatever it is that you want to do at that particular point in time, And when I say that, not anything illegal or anything bad, but whatever it is that you enjoy doing, And you don't have to know what your life purpose is at age 18 or at age 12 or even at age 30 or 40, You just do whatever it is that you enjoy doing at that point in time, and then just trust that will lead you to whatever the next thing that you want to do, So if you want to become a photographer at age 30 and then you start taking pictures and then you realize that, I want to move to the next level, but you wouldn't have realized that there was a next level until you started doing whatever it was that you were interested in doing at that point in time. And then you move to the next level and the next level, and then you eventually find your purpose, But I think a lot of people get so disillusioned or distracted because they don't know what their life purpose is. I mean, I don't think that anybody's going to know at a certain in their 20s or 30s what it is that they want to do it for the rest of their life. And I don't think that we should all be locked into doing any particular thing or agreeing to do anything for the rest of our lives for anything. I think that that's what life is. Life is just a journey. And then as you move along that journey, you're going to find things that you like to do, and then just do those things. Try to figure out how you can do more and more of those things. Some people may have to work a regular job, and that's fine. You work your regular job, but you make sure that in your free time, instead of wasting that time away, you're using that time to do whatever it is that you like to do. So eventually you'll get to the point where you're able to do what it is that you want to do, not just in your free time. You'll be able to do that all the time. So my shirt, I Sell Hope, it's just really like a play on words. I remember when I came up with the idea for this shirt a few years ago, I saw people wearing shirts that said "I sell dope," and I was like, what, I that's not my thing. I'm not selling dope, but I'm selling hope. And what I mean by hope is like, I'm helping people increase their belief, because once people, they have this expectation that there is more in life, then they'll be able to do more. Kind of goes into what I talked about a little earlier, just increasing that level of belief that they have. Because like I said, the reason why, when you see people that all they want to do is party all the time and they don't do anything, they're never ever moving forward in life. The only reason why is that deep down inside, they really don't believe that they can do more in life, And once they start to believe that they can do more in life, then their life has some sort of meaning and purpose, and then they start moving towards it, and then they move away from always looking to just have fun and enjoy themselves to doing something that really makes them excited and lively. Because that going out and just doing drugs and all that or whatever, is it generally those people are just trying to escape from something. They haven't found what it is that they want to do, or they don't believe they can do anything. So that's how they find joy, and but it's not even really true joy. To me, you get true joy and satisfaction and purpose in life, by finding what it is that it is that you just enjoy doing, So that's where my shirt comes from. My name is Coach Mark, and I want to thank you for tuning in. You're watching Art, Life, and Vibes.